Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
City and local leaders say the numbers are moving in the right direction. Detroit's murder rate on the way down, in fact, way down to the lowest we've seen in nearly 60 years. Data out tonight on those murder rate numbers, along with other violent crimes, showing big improvements. Glad you're with us tonight for Local 4 News at 11. I'm Devin Skillian.
And I'm Pamela Osborne in for Kimberly Gill. So what's behind the drop and how do we keep those numbers going? Our Mara McDonald is live downtown tonight. Mara, for starters, it's a combination of law enforcement, the prosecutor, and the judiciary.
Pamela, that's what they're saying. They say this trio is responsible for clearing a backlog of nearly 4,000 felony gun cases, and the results? Well, they say it's this. Let me show you. At the same time last year, 278 people had been murdered in the city of Detroit. As it stands right now, that number is 228.
But nobody wants to hear about the numbers of arrests. What people want to hear about is the overall reduction in crime.
Shootings are down 13% and carjackings are down 36%. How do you make this happen? For one, clearing those thousands of backlog gun felonies. But it's more than that. It's boosting staffing for prosecutors and police, along with much better communication and accountability.
Let me first acknowledge the hard work of Chief White, Raphael Washington, our county sheriff, the hard work of the mayor, the hard work of Madam Prosecutor Worthy.
Community activists like Teferi Brandt, who have been doing outreach on the streets for years, say the fruits of so many groups working on everything from offering parolees second chances to showing young men a future that isn't just street life is the second part of this equation. It's something Detroit is investing in as well. For the first time, Detroit is putting some of its crime-fighting dollars, as in 10 million of them, into these groups looking to make permanent change.
This is the work of everyone, not just law enforcement. I would argue that law enforcement is a smaller part of the solution to this issue. It's the work of the people in the community who are organizing and working and addressing the root cause issues that contribute to criminogenic behavior.
Back here live, the city of Detroit is willing to put its money on the line for the next 2 years to see what this does. And yes, they're looking for metrics. It's going to be interesting to see what these numbers look like. Same time next year. We're live downtown tonight. I'm Mara McDonald, Local 4.
All right, Mara, thank you.
A teenager's body is recovered from a pond in Oakland County after he was trying to get away from police. It happened last night as police were responding to an alarm at the Tractor Supply store in White Lake on M59. Two people were seen climbing down from the roof and running away. Police caught up with one of them. The other, 16-year-old Joepachowski, ran into a marshy area behind the store and never returned home. Oakland County Sheriff's Search and Rescue Team started the search.
The Aqua Eye, which is basically a small side scan sonar device where they can look at objects in the water to see if something bears additional investigation. They saw something that they felt did. They put divers in the water and recovered.
Joepachowski was a junior at Lakeland High School, a member of the varsity football team. Tonight, his father released a statement, and it reads in part, Joe was a host at a local restaurant for the last 2 years, and he had the biggest heart of any kid you'll ever meet. He just got his license back in March, and he used to go pick his friends up to drive them places. His loss has left an indescribable hole in our hearts.
A Madison Heights man accused of being a social media predator is facing several charges. Baron Dukes is facing a 5 felony count warrant on criminal sex claims. The charges come after allegations he contacted a 12-year-old girl by Instagram, Snapchat, and text. Dukes is accused of asking for explicit photos and sending photos of himself. He's currently in the Macomb County Jail on unrelated charges. Anyone with additional information asked to call Madison Heights Police. They believe there may be more victims out there. Discord on Detroit's Reparations task force as 2 members resigned over the weekend.
And the task force isn't even a year old. Will Jones following this story for us tonight with these latest developments here. Will.
Devin and Pamela, the task force was set up to fight the wrongs of the past against Black Detroiters, but it appears that the task force is having trouble finding its footing to get the job done.
For folks that say it will never happen, just to get to this moment was somebody's wildest dream.
Last February, Lauren Hood was celebrating the newly created Detroit Reparations Task Force. Over the weekend, Hood, who served as co-chair of the executive committee, along with general member Maurice Weeks, resigned from the task force. In 2021, Detroit voters approved the ballot initiative to create the Reparations Task Force. Members had their first meeting last April. The 13-member board is now down by 3 members with the passing of Reverend Dr. Joanne Watson last July. Members are responsible for developing recommendations to address historical discrimination against Black Detroiters. Council President Mary Sheffield responding to the resignations in a statement, saying in part, the task force was designed to not have council involved in day-to-day activities and instead be community-led and driven. City Council has done our part by appointing members in a timely fashion and by ensuring funding was secured and appropriated to help facilitate the task force's work. Anytime you assemble a 13-member body, all with different opinions on how to tackle a very complex subject, such as reparations, it will take time to get everyone rowing in the same direction. With that said, City Council continues to be available for any assistance or guidance the Reparations Task Force seeks. We reached out to Hood and Weeks for comment. Weeks declined comment. Hood has yet to respond to our request for comment. Task Force co-chair Keith Williams says that the task force will remain focused on its mission, trying to right the wrongs of the past, and Council President Mary Sheffield says she hopes to fill the vacancies as soon as possible. We're live in Detroit. Will Jones, Local 4.
All right, Will.
A day after Israel expands operations to the south, the fight in the Gaza Strip intensifies. Israeli airstrikes hit about 200 targets today. People are being asked to flee with little to survive on. Israel is dropping leaflets with digital maps telling citizens to move from one part of Gaza to another for their safety. Meantime, 180 humanitarian aid trucks were cleared to enter Gaza today. More than 80% of Gaza's total population is displaced.
Macomb County leaders in Harrison Township opened new headquarters for the Sheriff's Marine Division. The old HQ was built back in 1974, hadn't been updated since 1985, and the Sheriff's Office says it was definitely time for new digs. The new 14,000 square foot facility features offices, a dispatch center, locker rooms, boat garage, and more than twice as large as the old headquarters at a cost of more than $10 million to build.
And talking about a warm-up that's headed our way, but we're going to have to wait for that.
Because we got some tricky things coming our way tomorrow, kind of at odds with that lovely scene that we're seeing downtown right now. Let's check in with Kim.
I know we're a little confused this week. We're going to go from a little snow tomorrow in some parts to temperatures in the low 50s by the end of the week. Right now, it's fairly cool everywhere you go. 34 in Pontiac, 36 in Mount Clemens, 35 in Grosse Pointe Farms, 37 at City Airport, and mid-30s out at the airport. As we widen the view for you here, we've got temperatures right now in the low to mid-30s, pretty much across the Midwest. A little colder up north. It's only 19 in Marquette, 40 in Columbus. It's now 42 in Nashville. Tomorrow, we get a little light snow in the morning, especially south of I-94. Then as the temperature warms up to 36, that snow will start to mix with some rain, and we'll have a wintry mix for a while, and then it will change over to all rain. But this is mainly south of Detroit. It really depends on where you live as to what kind of day you'll have tomorrow and what kind of morning commute. But we all get in on the warm temperatures as we climb up to 53. We get a little sunshine for Friday and then lots of rain over the weekend and some wind. We'll talk about that in just a few minutes.